Once upon a time, in a sunny meadow, lived a little fox named Felix. Felix was a brave and friendly fox who loved to go on adventures. He had two best friends, Lily the lamb and Benny the bluebird. One bright morning, Felix woke up full of excitement. He had a plan to explore the other side of the forest. Felix ran to find Lily and Benny. First, Felix found Lily grazing in the meadow. "Lily, Lily, let's go on an adventure to the other side of the forest," Felix exclaimed. Lily's eyes sparkled with excitement, and she quickly agreed. Next, they found Benny chirping on a tree branch. "Benny, Benny, join us on an adventure to the other side of the forest," Felix called out. Benny flapped his wings happily and flew down to join them. The three friends set off together, laughing and chatting. They walked through the tall green trees and over babbling brooks. Along the way, they met a friendly deer named Daisy. "Where are you all going?" Daisy asked curiously. "We're exploring the other side of the forest," Felix replied. Daisy smiled and decided to join them on their adventure. As they walked deeper into the forest, they heard a rustling noise. Felix bravely led the way to investigate. They discovered it was a family of bunnies playing in the leaves. The bunnies invited Felix and his friends to join their game. They all played together, hopping and laughing. After a fun game, they continued their journey. Soon, they reached a sparkling river. It was so wide and beautiful that they all marveled at it. "How do we cross it?" Lily wondered aloud. Just then, a wise old turtle named Toby appeared. "I can help you cross the river," Toby said with a kind smile. Toby showed them a safe path of stepping stones. Felix, Lily, Benny, and Daisy carefully hopped across the stones. Toby crossed with them to make sure they were safe. Once on the other side, they thanked Toby for his help. On the other side of the river, they found a magical glade. The glade was filled with colorful flowers and sparkling butterflies. It was the most beautiful place they had ever seen. Felix and his friends decided to rest in the glade. They lay on the soft grass and watched the butterflies dance. They felt happy and peaceful. As the sun began to set, they knew it was time to head home. They retraced their steps, crossing the river and passing the friendly bunnies. They bid Daisy and Toby goodbye as they returned to their meadow. Felix, Lily, and Benny reached home just as the stars began to twinkle. They were tired, but very happy. That night, they all had wonderful dreams about their adventure. Felix knew they would have many more adventures together, and they all lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in a green meadow, there lived a tortoise named Tommy and a hare named Harry. Harry was very fast and always bragged about his speed. Tommy, on the other hand, was slow but very steady. They were good friends, even though they were very different. One sunny day, Harry was boasting again about how fast he could run. I am the fastest animal in the whole meadow," he said. Tommy got tired of hearing Harry's bragging. So Tommy said, "How about we have a race to see who's really the fastest?" Harry laughed and laughed. "You want to race me?" he chuckled. "All right, let's do it." The other animals in the meadow gathered to watch the race. The race started, and Harry zoomed off, leaving Tommy far behind. Harry was so fast that he decided he could take a nap. Tommy is so slow, he'll never catch up, he thought, and lay down under a tree to sleep. Meanwhile, Tommy kept moving forward, one slow step at a time. He didn't stop, and he didn't get tired. He just kept moving steadily towards the finish line. The other animals watched in amazement as Tommy kept going. They admired his determination. Even when Harry was sleeping, Tommy kept going. After a while, Harry woke up. He stretched and looked around. Oh no! Where is Tommy? He gasped. He saw that Tommy was very close to the finish line. Oh! Harry jumped up and started running as fast as he could. But it was too late. Just as Harry got close, Tommy crossed the finish line. All the animals cheered for Tommy. They were so happy for him. Harry was surprised, but he learned an important lesson. "Tommy, you showed me that slow and steady wins the race," Harry said. "It's not always about being the fastest, but about never giving up." Tommy smiled, happy to have taught his friend something valuable. From that day on, Harry and Tommy were even better friends. They played together, and Harry was more humble about his speed. They both knew that everyone has their own strengths. Tommy and Harry continued to have fun adventures in the meadow. Break time ones. They learned from each other and helped each other. They knew that true friends always support one another. The other animals loved to hear the story of their race. It became a favorite tale in the meadow. Everyone remembered the lesson that Tommy taught. So whenever someone felt like giving up, they thought of Tommy the tortoise. They remembered to keep going, no matter how slow it seemed. And they always found a way to reach their goal. And that's the story of Tommy the tortoise and Harry the hare. A story of determination, friendship, and never giving up. Good night, little one. Sweet dreams. Once upon a time, in a land where dreams came true, there lived a little bear named Benny. Benny had a special dream every night about a castle made of stars. In his dreams, he saw animals from all around the world playing in the castle. Benny loved these dreams and wanted to make them come true. One night, Benny had a particularly vivid dream. The stars in the sky whispered to him, saying, "Benny, you can find the star castle if you believe." Benny woke up feeling excited and determined. He decided to go on a journey to find the magical star castle. Benny packed his little backpack with snacks and a blanket. He told his friends about his dream and his plan. His best friends, Lila the rabbit and Max the fox, decided to join him on his journey. They were all excited about the adventure ahead. As they walked through the forest, they sang happy songs and shared their dreams. The trees swayed gently, and the birds chirped merrily. Suddenly, they came across a wise old owl named Ollie. Ollie asked where they were going, and Benny told him about the Star Castle. "Ah, the Star Castle," Ollie said with a twinkle in his eye. "You must follow the path of the glowing fireflies. They will lead you to the castle." Benny, Lila, and Max thanked Ollie and continued on their way. They felt a renewed sense of hope and excitement. As the sun began to set, they saw the first firefly light up. One by one, more fireflies appeared, creating a glowing path in the darkness. The friends followed the fireflies, feeling like they were walking through a magical dream. The night was cool, and the stars above twinkled brightly. After walking for a while, they saw a shimmering light in the distance. It looked like the stars had come down to Earth. The friends hurried towards the light, and there it was, the Star Castle. It was even more beautiful than Benny had imagined. The castle was made of sparkling stars, and it glowed with a gentle, magical light. Animals of all kinds were playing happily in the castle grounds. Benny, Lila, and Max joined in the fun, feeling like they were in a dream. Benny's heart was full of joy. As the night went on, the friends explored every corner of the Star Castle. They met new animal friends and shared stories of their journey. Everyone was so kind and welcoming. The castle felt like a place where dreams truly came alive. Finally, it was time to rest. Benny, Lila, and Max found a cozy spot under a tree of glowing stars. As they lay down, they felt a sense of peace and happiness. They closed their eyes and drifted into a deep, magical sleep. In the morning, they woke up to the sound of birds singing. The Star Castle was still there, shining in the daylight. Benny realized that dreams could come true if you believed in them. He felt grateful for the wonderful journey and the amazing friends he had. Benny, Lila, and Max knew it was time to go back home. They said goodbye to their new friends and thanked the stars for their magical adventure. As they walked back through the forest, they felt happy and fulfilled. They knew they could always visit the Star Castle in their dreams. When they returned home, they shared their adventure with everyone. The other animals listened in awe and excitement. Benny felt proud of their journey and the dreams they had brought to life. Every night after that, Benny would dream of the Star Castle and smile. He knew that dreams were powerful and could lead to the most amazing adventures. Benny, Lila, and Max continued to explore and share their dreams with each other. Their friendship grew stronger with each adventure. And so Benny, Lila, and Max lived happily ever after. They knew that as long as they believed in their dreams, anything was possible. The stars in the sky always reminded them of their magical journey to the Star Castle. And every night, they fell asleep with smiles on their faces, dreaming of new adventures. Good night, little ones. Dream big and believe in the magic of your dreams. Sweet dreams? Once upon a time, under the gentle glow of the moonlight, there was a tiny village called Moonville. Moonville was known for its beautiful nights and magical tales. In this village lived a young boy named Max and his best friend, a little cat named Luna. Max and Luna loved to go on little adventures together. One night, as the moon shone brightly, they decided to explore the enchanted forest near their village. They had heard stories of magic hidden deep within the forest. With a lantern in his hand and Luna by his side, Max set off on their exciting adventure. The forest was filled with the sounds of chirping crickets and rustling leaves. The moonlight guided their path as they walked deeper into the woods. Suddenly, they stumbled upon a sparkling stream that glowed under the moonlight. Max and Luna were amazed by the sight. They followed the stream, curious to see where it would lead. After a short walk, they came across a beautiful clearing with colorful flowers and fluttering fireflies. In the center of the clearing stood an old, twisted tree with a hollow trunk. Max and Luna could feel the magic in the air. Max approached the tree and peeked inside the hollow trunk. To his surprise, he found a glowing, magical crystal. The crystal sparkled like 1,000 stars. Max carefully picked up the crystal and it began to glow even brighter. Suddenly, the clearing lit up with a soft, magical light. Max and Luna watched in awe as the forest came alive with magic. Just then, a gentle voice spoke from the tree. "Thank you for finding the heart of the forest," the voice said. It was the spirit of the enchanted forest. "With this crystal, the magic of the forest will be restored," the spirit continued. Max and Luna felt proud and happy to have helped. The spirit promised to always protect them in return. As a token of gratitude, the spirit gave Max and Luna a small pouch of magical seeds. "Plant these in Moonville, and your village will always be blessed with magic," the spirit said. Max and Luna thanked the spirit and made their way back to Moonville. They felt a sense of accomplishment and joy. The moonlight guided them safely home. The next day, Max and Luna planted the magical seeds in their village. Soon, beautiful flowers and plants began to grow. Moonville became even more enchanting than before. The villagers were amazed and grateful for the magic that now surrounded their homes. Max and Luna were hailed as heroes. They had brought happiness and magic to Moonville. Every night, under the gentle glow of the moonlight, Max and Luna would sit by the enchanted plants. They would remember their magical adventure in the forest, and they knew that as long as they had each other, their adventures would never end. And so, under the moonlit sky, Max and Luna lived happily ever after. The end. Once upon a time, there were 3 little pigs who lived with their mother. One day, their mother told them it was time to go out into the world and build their own homes. The first little pig was very lazy and decided to build his house out of straw. The second little pig worked a bit harder and built his house out of sticks. The third little pig was very hardworking and decided to build his house out of bricks. He knew it would take more time, but he wanted his house to be strong and safe. The 3 little pigs each went to work building their houses. They were all very excited to have their own homes. One day, a big bad wolf came to the house made of straw. He knocked on the door and said, little pig, let me in." The little pig replied, "Not by the hair on my chinny chin chin." So the wolf huffed and puffed and blew the house down. The little pig ran to his brother's house made of sticks. The wolf followed him to the house made of sticks. He knocked on the door and said, little pigs, let me in." The 2 little pigs replied, "Not by the hair on our chinny chin chins." So the wolf huffed and puffed and blew the house down. The 2 little pigs ran as fast as they could to their brother's house made of bricks. The wolf followed them to the house made of bricks. He knocked on the door and said, little pigs, let me in," the three little pigs replied. "Not by the hair on our chinny chins." So the wolf huffed and puffed and huffed and puffed, but he couldn't blow the brick house down. The wolf was very angry and decided to climb down the chimney to get inside the house. But the third little pig had a clever idea. He put a pot of boiling water in the fireplace. When the wolf came down the chimney, he fell right into the pot of boiling water. He jumped out and ran away, never to bother the three little pigs again. The three little pigs lived happily ever after in their strong brick house. They learned that hard work and perseverance always pay off. From then on, the three little pigs enjoyed their cozy home and stayed safe from any dangers. They often had friends over and shared their story of how they outsmarted the big bad wolf. The pigs always remembered to work hard and be prepared, and they all lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in a big green jungle, there lived a little tiger named Tigger. Tigger was a strong and playful tiger, but he had a bad habit. He liked to bully other animals and scare them away. Because of this, Tigger had no friends. One sunny day, Tigger was playing alone near a big tree. He tried to join the other animals, but they all ran away when they saw him coming. Tigger felt very sad and lonely. He wondered why no one wanted to play with him. As Tigger sat under the tree, he overheard some animals talking. They were chatting about how important it is to be kind and helpful to each other. Tigger listened carefully and started to understand. He decided right then to change and be nice to others. The next day, Tigger saw a little bunny looking for something. He walked over and asked, "Can I help you?" The bunny looked surprised but said, "I lost my carrot." Tigger smiled and helped the bunny find its lost carrot. Later, Tigger saw a bird crying because its nest was broken. Tigger said, "Don't worry, I can help you fix it." He carefully gathered some twigs and leaves. Together, they rebuilt the bird's nest. One afternoon, Tigger saw a hungry squirrel looking for food. Tigger had some extra berries and nuts he had gathered. He shared his food with the squirrel. The squirrel was very thankful and happy. The other animals began to notice Tigger's change in behavior. They saw how kind and helpful he had become. Slowly, they started to warm up to him. They even began to invite him to join their games and activities. Tigger was overjoyed to have friends to play with. He laughed and played games with his new friends every day. Tigger felt happy and loved. He realized that being kind was so much better than being a bully. From then on, Tigger always tried to be kind and helpful. He had many friends and enjoyed playing with them. Tigger learned that kindness brings friendship and happiness, and he was never lonely again. So, little ones, remember to always be kind to others. Just like Tigger, you can make many friends by being nice. Now, close your eyes and dream of wonderful adventures with your friends. Good night and sweet dreams. Once upon a time, in a sunny meadow, there lived a funny little rabbit named Benny. Benny had big, floppy ears and a fluffy, white tail. He loved hopping around and making new friends. Every day was an adventure for Benny. Break time one. One morning, Benny woke up to the sound of birds chirping. He stretched his long ears and hopped out of his cozy burrow. Benny had a great idea. "I'll go on a new adventure today," he thought happily. Benny hopped over to his best friend's house. His best friend was Sammy the squirrel, who loved to climb trees. Sammy, let's go on an adventure," Benny called out. Sammy jumped down from his favorite tree branch and grinned. "That sounds fun, Benny. Where are we going?" Sammy asked. Benny replied, "I heard there's a magical pond at the edge of the forest." Sammy's eyes sparkled with excitement. "Let's go find it," he shouted. The friends hopped and scampered through the meadow. Along the way, they met Charlie the chipmunk. "Hello, Charlie. Want to join our adventure to find the magical pond?" Benny asked. Charlie clapped his tiny paws and agreed happily. As the three friends continued, they saw Lily the ladybug. She was sitting on a bright red flower. "Hi, Lily. We are looking for the magical pond. Do you want to come?" Sammy asked. Lily flapped her tiny wings in delight and joined in. They walked and walked until they reached the edge of the forest. The path was full of beautiful flowers, and the air smelled sweet. Suddenly, Benny saw something sparkling in the distance. "Look, I think that's the magical pond," he shouted. The friends ran towards the sparkle, and there it was, a magical pond with water that shimmered like a rainbow. Around the pond, butterflies fluttered and dragonflies danced. "It's even more beautiful than I imagined," said Benny. They all sat by the pond, feeling happy and peaceful. Suddenly, a frog named Freddie hopped out of the pond. "Hello, friends. Welcome to the magical pond," Freddie said with a croak. "What makes this pond so magical?" Lily asked. "This pond grants one small wish to everyone who visits," Freddie explained. The friends took turns making their wishes. Benny wished for endless adventures with his friends. Sammy wished for more trees to climb. Charlie wished for lots of acorns to store. Lily wished for lots of flowers to rest on. Freddie the frog smiled. "Your wishes will all come true." Feeling happy, the friends thanked Freddie and promised to visit again. They started their journey back to the meadow. On their way back, they talked about how much fun they had. "This was the best adventure ever," Benny said. "I agree," said Sammy. "Let's have more adventures together." Everyone nodded happily. When they reached their homes, the sky was turning orange and pink. "Good night, friends," Benny said. Sammy, Charlie, and Lily all waved goodbye and went to their cozy homes. The meadow was quiet and peaceful again. Benny snuggled into his soft burrow and closed his eyes. He dreamed of more adventures with his wonderful friends. The stars twinkled above and the moon smiled down on the meadow. Everyone slept peacefully, knowing more exciting days awaited them. And so, Benny, Sammy, Charlie, and Lily continued to have many more magical adventures. They stayed the best of friends forever. No matter what, they knew they could always count on each other. And that made them all very, very happy. The end. Once upon a time, in a sunny meadow, there lived a clever crow named Cathy. Cathy loved to fly high in the sky and explore new places. One hot summer day, she felt very thirsty. She looked around for water. After flying for a while, Cathy spotted a pitcher near a big rock. She excitedly flew down to it. But when she tried to drink, she found the water was too low for her beak to reach. Cathy felt sad and confused. Cathy thought hard about how she could get to the water. She looked around and noticed small pebbles scattered on the ground. An idea popped into her head. What if she dropped the pebbles into the pitcher to raise the water level? Cathy picked up one pebble with her beak and dropped it into the pitcher. She watched closely. The water level rose a tiny bit. Feeling hopeful, she picked up another pebble and dropped it in. Cathy kept picking up pebbles and dropping them in the pitcher. Slowly but surely, the water level rose higher and higher. Cathy felt excited as she watched her hard work paying off. Soon, the water was high enough for her beak to reach. Cathy eagerly took a long drink of the cool, refreshing water. She felt so happy and satisfied. Cathy realized that with patience and clever thinking, she could solve any problem. She flew away feeling proud and grateful. Later that evening, Cathy shared her story with her friends in the forest. They all listened with wide eyes and amazed expressions. Bella the bunny, Sammy the squirrel, and Freddie the frog clapped their hands and cheered. They were all so proud of Cathy's cleverness. Cathy's story of how she raised the water in the pitcher soon spread throughout the forest. Everyone started thinking of ways they could use their cleverness too. The forest became a happier place where everyone worked together to solve problems. One day, Sammy the squirrel found a way to share acorns with his friends by using a small basket. Bella the bunny learned to make new hopping games to play with everyone. Freddie the frog made a new song that everyone loved to sing. The forest animals found happiness in their inventions and clever ideas. Whenever someone had a problem, Cathy and her friends would help think of a smart solution. Cathy knew that she'd made a big difference. Her heart was filled with joy and pride. As the sun set on the lovely forest, all the animals gathered by the big rock. They sang Freddie's song and shared stories of their adventures. Cathy sat contentedly, knowing she was surrounded by wonderful friends. Together, they were smarter and stronger. The forest glowed softly under the moonlight. Cathy and her friends said goodnight to one another. They curled up in their cozy nests and beds, feeling safe and happy. They dreamed of more adventures to come the next day. And so, Cathy and her friends lived happily ever after. They knew that with cleverness and teamwork, they could face anything. Their hearts were always full of friendship and joy. Once upon a time, in a small village, there lived a playful boy named Alex. Alex was a shepherd who looked after a group of sheep on a hill near the village. One day, Alex felt bored and decided to play a trick on the villagers. He ran to the village and shouted, "Wolf, wolf, a wolf is attacking the sheep." The kind villagers dropped what they were doing and rushed to help Alex. But when they arrived, they found no wolf. Alex laughed and laughed at the sight of the confused villagers. "I tricked you," he said joyfully. The villagers were not happy with Alex's joke and went back to their work. A few days later, Alex became bored again and decided to play the same trick. He ran to the village and yelled, "Wolf! Wolf! A wolf is attacking the sheep!" Once more, the villagers ran to help, and once more, there was no wolf. The villagers were very upset and told Alex to stop playing tricks on them. "We won't believe you next time," they warned him. But Alex didn't think of the villagers' words seriously. He continued to take care of the sheep, laughing at his own jokes. One day, a real wolf appeared on the hill and started to chase the sheep. Alex was very scared and ran to the village as fast as he could. He shouted, "Wolf! Wolf! Wolf is really attacking the sheep!" But this time, the villagers did not come to help. Alex felt very sad and realized the mistake he had made. He rushed back to the hill to try and protect his sheep. Just when things looked very bad, the village elder, who had been watching from a distance, believed Alex and decided to gather some villagers to help. "This time he seems truly desperate," the elder said. The villagers, led by the elder, quickly made their way to the hill. When they arrived, they saw the real wolf and hurried to chase it away. With everyone working together, they managed to scare the wolf back into the forest. The sheep were saved. Break time. Alex was very thankful to the villagers for coming to help him. "I'm so sorry for tricking you before," he said with tears in his eyes. "I promise never to lie again." The villagers forgave Alex and were glad that he had learned a valuable lesson. From that day on, Alex always told the truth and became a trustworthy shepherd. The villagers respected him, and he even became friends with the farmers' children, playing happily every day. The sheep were safe and well taken care of. Alex never forgot the kindness of the villagers and always helped them in return. And so the village remained peaceful and happy. Alex grew up to be an honest and responsible young man. He never forgot the lesson he learned about the importance of telling the truth. And everyone in the village lived happily ever after. Once upon a time, in a cozy little town, there lived a curious kitten named Whiskers. Whiskers had a fluffy white coat and bright green eyes. He loved to play and explore the world around him. One bright morning, Whiskers woke up feeling adventurous. He decided he wanted to find the biggest, shiniest fish in the town's pond. With a meow of excitement, he set off on his journey. On his way to the pond, Whiskers met his friends, Fluffy the bunny and Stripey the squirrel. They joined him on his quest, hopping and scurrying along happily. As they reached the pond, they saw the most beautiful fish shimmering in the water. Whiskers' eyes widened with amazement. "That's the one!" he exclaimed, feeling thrilled. But just as Whiskers was about to pounce into the water, a wise old owl named Hoot hooted softly from a nearby tree. "Wait, young ones, the fish you seek is special. It grants wishes to those who show kindness." Whiskers and his friends paused, realizing the importance of being kind. They decided to help the fish by cleaning up the pond and planting colorful flowers around it. Days passed, and the pond became a haven of beauty and peace. The fish, grateful for their kindness, granted each of them a wish. Whiskers wished for endless adventures with his friends. And so Whiskers, Fluffy, Stripey, and Hoot continued to have many more wonderful adventures together, spreading joy and kindness wherever they went. And they lived happily ever after. We hope you enjoyed our bedtime story and that it brought a little magic to your night. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more enchanting stories that spark imagination and inspire kindness and creativity. Good night, little ones.